Right, in continuation to the previous video, our Indian philosophical tradition was mainly divided into two categories. One is Orthodox school of philosophy, the second one is unorthodox school of philosophy. Orthodox school of philosophy is about the God-centric philosophies, whereas unorthodox philosophical schools are human-centric philosophies. In Orthodox philosophy system, we have several categories like Samkhya philosophy, Nyaya philosophy, Vaisheshika philosophy, and also we have Purva Mimamsa philosophy, Vedanta philosophy. In unorthodox school of philosophy, we can find Buddhism, Jainism, Charvaka philosophies, and we'll be discussing some other human-centric philosophies in the third unit. So it's all about philosophical tradition, third unit. In the fourth unit, we'll be discussing Indian linguistic tradition. The fourth unit is all about Indian linguistic tradition. In Indian linguistic tradition, we'll be discussing mainly phonology, morphology, syntax, and semantics. Of course, we can find all of these in our English grammar or in our English language. Of course, you can find all of these in all the languages. But how our ancestor grammarians framed rules for phonology, morphology, syntax, and semantics. Phonology is the study of sounds. Phone in the sense sound. Morphology in the sense morpheme. Morpheme in the sense division of words. The part of a word is what is called morphemes. The study of morphemes is what is called morphology, and the syntax, the study of sentences. Semantics, the study of meaning of sentences is what is called semantics. So in the fourth unit, we'll be studying phonology, morphology, and syntax and semantics. There are some sutras and formulas for studying all of these in our ancient languages like Sanskrit and other major languages. The fifth unit is about Indian artistic tradition. I think we know that human life is not possible without spiritual knowledge, without arts. So, the fifth unit is all about Indian artistic tradition, where we'll discuss Chitrakala, the painting system, painting, Mantrakala, articulatory, and Vastukala also. And we'll be discussing Sangeeta Kala, Natya Kala, and various other art forms. So this is all about essence of Indian traditional knowledge. This is a syllabus, basic structure, the structure of our syllabus. So in this course, we have 5 units. First unit is about basic structure of Indian knowledge system. Second unit is all about yoga, holistic healthcare, modern science, and Indian knowledge system. Third unit is all about Indian philosophical tradition, where we'll be discussing Orthodox school and unorthodox school. And fourth unit will be discussing Indian linguistic tradition, and we'll be discussing syntax, semantics, phonology, morphology. And fifth unit is all about Indian artistic tradition. We'll be discussing Chitrakala, Mantrakala, Vastukala, Natyakala, Sangeeta Kala, some other forms. So now let us start the first unit, that is what is called basic structure of Indian knowledge system. And in the first unit, the major important concept is what is called Vedas. Because most of our ancient Indian knowledge system was based on Vedas only. I think without understanding or following Vedas, Hindu people or Hindu religious people cannot perform any kind of religious rituals. I think we know this fact. So here, if you look at the concept of Vedas, Vedas is the earliest literary record of Indo-Aryan civilization. I think we know. Without, if you look at the Indo-Aryan civilization, generally, I think in India we find several civilizations. And Aryan civilization is one of the oldest and the most popular civilizations in the history of India. You can find that Vedas is the earliest literary record of Indo-Aryan civilization. And Vedas are considered to be the most sacred scriptures of Indians, mainly Hindus. So Vedas are considered to be the most sacred scriptures of Hindus people or of Indians. And Vedas are meant to be mantras. I think we know many of our scriptures of our, for example, if you take up Puranas, Astadasha Puranas, 18 Puranas, or if you take up Dharma Shastra, or if you take up Vedas, or if you take up Itihasas, Ramayana, Mahabharata, all of them, most of the Indian scriptures were written in the form of poetry. Poetry in the sense, of course, we have two stanzas, two maybe slokas or hymns, we call them hymns or slokas, or two lines of a poem, or maybe 4 lines of poem, or 6 lines of poem, 14 lines of poem. There are several categories in poetry itself. But here you can find that Vedas are in the form of mantras. They were in the form of mantras, and these mantras actually are to praise various gods. Vedas are the earliest literary records of the Indo-Aryan civilization, as well as Vedas are considered to be the most sacred scriptures of Indians, and Vedas were meant to be the mantras, incantations we call them, sorry, to praise various gods, and Vedas reflect the vivid picture of human life. Vedas reflect the vivid picture of human life. As I already told you that I think Vedas reflect the human life. Especially the Vedas describe the lifestyle of the people who lived in the Aryan civilization. And Vedas contain the spiritual knowledge, and that spiritual knowledge encompasses all the aspects of human life. I think you know that human life is not possible. Human beings are not satisfied only with the material life. I think we know, for example, if you have everything, if you have pen, pencil, and if you have everything in your hands, you may not be satisfied with all the material things. Human beings search something beyond material life. They might be searching for peace, or they might be searching for ultimate destination, or they might be searching for God, or they might be searching for super consciousness, or they might be searching for another kind of life. So at one point of time, human beings are mixed up with the material life, and that point, at that point, human beings try to do inner engineering. We call them as spiritual knowledge. It is nowhere related to any kind of, every religion talks about it. If you take up Islamic religion or Christian religion or Hindu religion or other religions, you can take up, and most of the religions they talk about, or they encompass the spiritual knowledge, and including all aspects of human life. And Vedas are considered to be the highest religious authority of Hindus or of Hindu people. Vedas are considered to be the highest authority of Hindu religion. And the word Veda means wisdom. The word Vedas means wisdom, wise wisdom. And the word Vedas means wisdom, knowledge. Life without knowledge is incomplete, by Bertrand Russell. Bertrand Russell is one of the famous philosophers in the Western philosophy. He says that life without knowledge is incomplete. Life is only completely satisfied. Life is completely enjoyable only when we have, or when we gain sufficient knowledge.